as the equity market is pricing in, we are going to see a higher rate of inflation in 2025 than what is currently expected.
Congressman, I want to get your take on the energy side of all of this, because yesterday when we got CPI, Congressman, we saw that energy prices fell. Gasoline, diesel, etc. But the question mark is, how do those prices continue to move forward? We had a guest on that said he believes that energy prices, because of the season, October, November, even into December, energy prices are going to continue to decline. I want to get your take on that, because I'm seeing some of that same story playing out in the report that I'm reading right now.
One thing's for sure, I think we're going to find out in 26 days when we have an election, and we're going to know which way this country is going in the way of energy, whether we're going to continue on this rush to green or whether we have a new administration that's going to unleash American energy. On the Energy and Commerce Committee that I serve on, that is one of our goals, and my subcommittee specifically, is to make sure that we unleash American energy. If we go back to an all-of-the-above type energy strategy, as opposed to the government mandating which energies we're going to use and which we're not going to use, then I think we'll be okay.
Interesting that you say that. Jonathan Fahey, jump into this, because again, as we approach the election, two totally different candidates, two totally different economic plans.
Yeah, and if you look at it, what Donald Trump is pledging to do, which you would expect he will do, that is, he's going to drill, they say drill, baby, drill, but that's certainly going to, not only for the energy prices, but it's the prices of everything that's going to go down once we start drilling more, producing more energy. At least I'm not an economist, but everything has to get to the store on, fossil fuels and other things, so that's going to have a big impact and for the daily lives of most Americans.
Pete, I want you to jump in. As an investor, the election, your take.
Yeah, well, I think that you're going to get the tale of two cities once again when we look at this and we look at what President Trump brings to the table versus his competition with Kamala. It's pretty interesting. I look at it as a much more open side of the things, obviously, with President Trump, although we will be doing some, it sounds like the tariffs with China, and that will be a factor as well. So there's a lot of different things as an investor where you have to look at who's going to be in that office. And it looks like right now, by the polls, it looks like it's leaning more and more towards President Trump, but you never know. Things do change, and we see these things move all the time. I see a much more wide open market and opportunities, and with drill, baby, drill as sort of the backdrop, it gives you a little bit of an idea of where the energy piece is going to be coming from. And we already know that we are already converting more and more as well from the uranium side of things and looking at nuclear energy as well. So there's a lot of different factors that I think would probably sway. And I think in the energy spot, that's probably the number one that I would say that's where President Trump has got a much more of a different opinion than his competition.
John Lonsky.
Yeah, let's not forget that energy is not only important for the domestic economy, it's also very important for foreign policy, as we discovered over the past several years. I mean, the fact that that oil prices moved higher helped Iran out, it helped Russia out, it helped these two enemies of the United States fund their military adventures. That was not a good thing. And uranium, that was great, Pete, that you mentioned that. Who would have ever thought that they would be reopening 3 Mile Island's nuclear power plant? And that's being driven by Microsoft, which tends to be a little bit left of center leaning corporation. And I understand, too, that in Michigan soon we are going to have a reopening of another nuclear power plant. We need a lot more electric power if we're going to follow through just being able to power the AI revolution that's forthcoming. Never mind electric vehicles.
Congressman, you got to jump into this.
I do, and I want to point out, because I'm very proud, 30% of all the energy in the state of Georgia now, thanks to the 2 nuclear reactors we have, comes from nuclear energy. Nuclear energy is now the future. We've got to embrace that, and we're doing that here in the state of Georgia. That's why, for the 11th year in a row, the #1 state in which to do business, because we have reliable baseload energy, affordable, that we can use here.
Before you go, Congressman, I want to ask you, Bill Clinton's coming to your state. What do you make of that? They're sending in Bill Clinton to stump for Kamala Harris. He's going deep south.
Well, Yeah. Well, that's fine. We welcome everyone here. We think we got a great place to visit. But let me tell you, Georgians are ready. And come hurricane or high water, we are going to be voting, and we're going to be voting for Donald Trump. He's going to win the state of Georgia.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's all about the swing states. You are one. And Pete, since you're with me, I just have to ask you, I mean, obviously, between now and the election, we've got 25 days to go. For the investment community, for Wall Street, it is really tough to make big moves right now, and also hard to plan.
Right. It's tough to make big moves because of the fact that it is a coin flip most days, although it looks like President Trump right now has got a substantial lead of some sort. But yes, we know it's going to go back and forth, and that is going to make it difficult because obviously there are much different sides of the investing market that's going to be out there for all of us, depending on who actually wins this. And I think that right now it's leaning, obviously, towards President Trump. If that's the case, we were just talking about energy. I'd say that's one of the big areas that we'd be keeping a very close eye on because I think that would be explosive.
Pete Najarian, Congressman Buddy Carter, thanks to both of you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, coming up,